Sometimes to get a glimpse of what the future is going to look like, we need to go off the tape. That's why tonight I want to introduce you to Hot Roster. This is a privately held company that's created a brilliant app which takes something I love, fantasy football, and boils it down to something simple and easy to get your head around. Every week, Hot Roster takes your favorite football players and puts them in head-to-head matchups that you can bet on, although technically this is a skill-based game and not online gambling. It's simple for each matchup. You pick which of the two players will have the better game, and once you've made at least 4 picks, you can lock in your roster. If your players win, you're eligible for cash prizes at odds of anywhere from 10 to 1 all the way to 500 to 1. They are boiling the essence of fantasy football down to app genius. That's why we want to check in with Chuck Goldman, the CEO of Hot Roster, who previously served as the Director of Field Engineering and Professional Services at Apple for 9 years and has already founded and sold 2 tech companies. Mr. Goldman, welcome to Mad Money. Good to see you, sir.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you. Have a seat.
Thanks.
Tonight, you roll out basketball.
Yeah, we're super excited about basketball.
Okay, so just give us an example, because maybe people want to play. And what would be a sample matchup of tonight?
Just, you take Kenny White is our Genius Max odds maker out of Vegas, and he sets the matchups, and he puts them together. You pick it, and you pick it to win. Okay,
now for football, obviously, this is big. I wanted to know, do you think that a lot of the people that you are having right now are people who have lost in their fantasy league and are still looking for some action?
That's a great question. So, the app that we built is really for not only the hardcore fantasy guy, right? Because there's 10 million or so out there who's probably lost and wants something else, wants some extra action. We're definitely there for them. But what really we're centered on, Jim, is the casual gamer, the 100 million, the Candy Crusher, the people who just love their smartphones, they love sports, and they love winning money. That's really what we're all about.
Oh, so you're, in other words, like Peyton versus Brady. I mean, real household guys that people, not like trying to pick a tight end this weekend as part of your roster that's left because of Super Bowl.
Exactly. Some of these other fantasy platforms, they're asking you, the first thing you do is to select and create a salary cap, or manage a salary cap.
Right.
Doesn't mean much to anybody. We're talking about simple, ease of use, putting 2 players together. You pick who you want. You can do that in a line for groceries, on the way to your car, whatever you get in the action last minute. That's simple, fast, fun fantasy.
And give me the run this year of like week to week, how it's been going.
It's been going great. I mean, when we launched the platform, we didn't know what to expect. First week, 10,000. Second week, it's just gone up from then. We're expecting, triple-digit growth every week now.
Really?
Yes.
Triple-digit growth.
Triple-digit growth.
Now, I've looked at FanDuel, and obviously, people know about this DraftKings.
Yep.
Now, FanDuel, I see advertised constantly. You have not, that I've seen, advertised Hot Roster. Where are you getting your customers from?
Great question. So we've taken a different approach. We're going more to the white label. We're working with media companies. We're working with publishers. Working with casinos. They're marketing to their install base, and we're ramping up tens of thousands of players as a result. We're not spending the hundreds of millions of dollars on traditional advertising.
Right. Now, Adam Silver recently wrote a brilliant editorial op-ed piece. NBA commissioner doing NBA tonight, just saying, okay, enough already. Let's just legalize gambling and let's just tax it. Make sense to you?
Totally. Think about it, right? $500 billion, $500 billion out there, unregulated, doing back alley deals, offshore, all that stuff. We want to get rid of all that stuff. We want to make sure that this is a regulated industry eventually, but for now, this is a skills-based offering, and we totally agree with Commissioner Silver's standpoint.
Now, how do we know that this isn't just gambling? What is the line that makes this so this is not professional gambling?
Absolutely. So this is a skills-based gaming. Okay. So basically the difference between a game of chance and a game of skill. I mean, Jim, you're a fantasy player. You know it takes some skill. I mean, you're looking at players, you're looking at their statistics, and you're making educated skills-based assumptions on who's going to win. That's the difference between rolling a dice or flipping a card.
Well, I got to tell you, when I heard about this, I said, this is something for me. I was the champ here 2 years in a row, and people told me I couldn't three-peat. I didn't believe it, because I have the skill set. But I found myself looking at, betting on the guy a guy who really had done well this year, but really stank up the joint this weekend. I should have done what you're doing. That's Chuck Goldman, CEO of Hot Roster. Tonight's basketball, I would check it out. It's too much fun. Stick with Cramer.